Hello, it's mid to late February. Everything's getting really exciting in the garden. It's that time of year when I just want to go, yes! You can now start saying, well, ready, steady, grow. I'm Liz Zorab and this is Byther Farm. So I've started sowing some seeds and now I'm going to get them laid out on here. So I've got smallish trays, so these are like half size seed trays and quarter size, with a whole variety of seeds on them. Now I only sowed these 3 days ago and already I can see they're germinating. They've been in the house but not under any heat. So I think with most of these smaller trays I'm going to put them into the larger tray there. They don't need watering because the compost was quite damp when I sowed the seeds, but it does mean I can keep an eye on them. And then these half trays I'll leave on the metal rack, just like that. I find it really hard to remember what I planted when, and I've designed this vegetable garden planner and journal to be able to keep records of when you've sown plants and when you've transplanted them. There's illustrations, there are photographs, there's sowing guides, there's hints and tips and ideas and inspiration right through it. And it's a great way to keep all your veg garden information in one place. And you can order your copy of my vegetable garden and planner either on my website, bytherfarm.com, or on Amazon. So as part of our end of year review of the garden, I identified that I want to repeat this bean support on this side. Yep. So it's like we had at the old place. The only thing I don't want to do is have a cross piece from there to there.
Right.
Because one of the things before, if I give you that to hold, and then we've got the canes going up, because there was a cross piece, I couldn't then lean in to harvest the ones that were on the inside. So if we can do it without, that would be amazing. When I say we...
Is that about the right place for it?
Yeah. So here we go, it's almost completed. I still need to bring up the screws and the screwdriver and actually fix this in place permanently. And at the moment I've got cable ties holding it in place, so you get the idea of what we do. So the 3 fence posts went in, 2 to the front and 1 slightly further back, so that we could almost weave this piece of 2x4. So it's gone behind the post here and in front of the post there, behind the post at that end. And that kind of locks the whole thing together and makes it pretty stable. And then when it's time to sow my beans, I can put canes into the ground there and have them coming up and fix them onto this piece of wood here so they lean outwards. So once the plant's grown up the canes and the beans have produced, they kind of hang down over the path, which means I can very easily just walk along and gather them like this, rather than having to try and climb into an A-frame and get them from in between the canes. I think my bean support for this year is now complete. I'm really pleased to say that Dave is back with me after his winter break. So he's doing work in the background. He's dismantling an old field shelter. And I have been raising up the sides on this bed because I've put in my plan for the garden this year that this bed is going to have potatoes in it. So I've used some more of the reclaimed decking wood and fitted it with little blocks here Some of them I've attached to the lower bit of wood and to the upper bit of wood to kind of put it firmly in place. I haven't cut the pieces to go across here yet. That will come in the next few days, and then I'll fix those on as well, and it will just give me a much deeper space to grow in. So the seed potatoes are going to go onto the compost. They're going to go straight onto this compost, and then I'm going to pile wood chips or leaves, or maybe even some straw, compost, anything I can find over the top of it, and let that start growing. And then instead of like hilling up in a traditional way, I'll just carry on adding layers. And once we get to the point where we're cutting the grass, some grass cuttings can go on it as well. And this will be my potato bed in the veg garden for this year. And although it's got some perennials in it, I'm going to work around those. There's the herb, thyme, on that side. And I'm just going to put compost on top of it and work it in between the stems. And hopefully they'll root and create lots of little plants. There's something here which I think was agastache, but that's okay. I'll leave the stems on the ground there to break down. And on this side of the bed, I've still got some beetroot ready to harvest. Oh, so that was just a tiny one, but that's okay. We'll use the leaves. But this looks like a good sized beetroot. Here we go. I think these are probably Chioggias. So that's ones with a pink and white stripe, which has probably said Chioggia in Italy. As I think CH is pronounced K, as in Chianti. But look, I'm really pleased with these. I will pick through the leaves, use those as a green leafy vegetable or a salad. And we've got a few little beetroot here to have for supper. Not long after we moved in, we discovered there were a lot of rabbits around. So I surrounded the veg garden with chicken wire to use as protection against rabbits. And it's worked really well. But there are places where people have climbed over the top of it and it has started being compromised, and so I want to put up a rail along the top of that netting, a wooden rail all the way up, so that I can attach the top of the chicken wire to it and kind of give it some stability and just discourage anyone from climbing over the top of it.